The tool I've chose to investigate is Wolfram Alpha Pro. It's at wolframalpha.com. It has it's a web page. It has some apps as well, but that isn't the subject right now. Um, it looks a bit like Google in that you have this search bar here that you can put in what you want to calculate or know about. In addition to that, you can look down below and narrow down your search and maybe get some tips as to what you would put in it. It excels in math. It's made by the same people who made the program Mathematica. Um, I started to use Wolfram Alpha because I needed help with very complex integrations for my last year of physics stuff. And this is a great way to investigate those and learn more. Um, So here's a really complex integral, and it will give you the solution. And this is the best part, if you click on this thing that says step-by-step solution up here, it will give you all of the steps from the beginning of the problem to the end, including sub-steps here. So there are 7 steps that it shows. Each one has a very specific instruction as to what's happening in that step. As opposed to some places where they might just show each step. This one tells you what's going on in those steps. And if you want, you can press the plus and it will show you that sub-step as well. If we look at it for science, this is the page for physics, and it gives you examples that you can pick to compute, and it will populate the search bar for you. This is centripetal acceleration, and it has the information in the search bar, and then it shows it down here as to how it would work to get that calculation. And if you wanted something different, you could change the number in the search bar to do that. So that's the first way that this supports student learning and engagement, is that it has a reference for students to learn more about the topics that you're teaching, and possibly use the math side to support the way that they do work to problems that you might have in class. The next way that it supports both student development as well as assessment is the problem generator that it has. It's all in math, which is a little bit disappointing right now, but math is underneath all the science that we teach. So if you have students that might need a little bit of review, you can use this tool to give them that extra support that they need to um, get up to speed on the math. So you can either have it provide them problems immediately, and if they don't get the problem right, they will have an opportunity to look at the step-by-step solutions that I showed you in the previous in the previous tab. You can also use this problem generator to create worksheets. This is a worksheet about complex numbers, and it will also produce the answer key for you to ease in your assessment. So I think this is a great tool for assessment for math teachers, not so much for science teachers. So um, one other way that this website is good for increasing student engagement is that it has the demonstrations project, which are all designed by various users around the country, and you can look at a bunch of different topics, from life science and physical science down to programming, and there's some that are sorted by Common Core. These are the ones that you can look at for biology. There are 30 here. It has stuff to do with DNA and growth models. Here's one for physics. This does projectile motion. And if you move the part on the left here that does velocity angle, you can see the trajectory change and see how that changes the trajectory of the projectile. Those are the ways that the tools that it has. It also helps a bit develop digital literacy in the fact that this main page works kind of like the Google search bar does, but it provides you or the student with a deeper um, understanding of the topics of math and science that they might look up. If you try to do the same sort of math in Google, you might get a result, but you wouldn't get any sort of explanation about how that result was obtained without going through a bunch of other pages. They also have integration with ChatGPT now. I haven't investigated that, but I'm kind of intrigued by it. Um, I think that this is a really good tool. It does have a couple of drawbacks and limitations. Um, Perhaps the biggest one is cost. To get the tools that I just described, you do need to subscribe for the pro version, which is $5 a month for students. So some families aren't going to be able to afford that. I think that an easy way to resolve that in a lot of places would be for schools to pay for it, to have it available on certain computers in the library or media area or in certain classrooms where students can have access to it if they needed it. The other drawback is that it's complex, it's expansive, and I think that it would require teachers and students to work together to learn best how to use it, which I think is well within most teachers' capability is once they figured out if there was something they could use. So I think it's a good tool, and I think it's worth taking a look at to see if you can use in your classrooms in the future.